Next up, we have CCO hosts. We're going to start with activities. We have Tabitha, Lexi and Andy. Lexi and Andy aren't here, so Joe will be reading their hosts. Tabitha, you're on your own. Okay. 3 minutes when you're ready.
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming here today. I'm not here to bore you and make empty promises, but to give you the reasons why I am the person to represent you as your CCO activities officer, and the benefits that you'll gain by voting for me. I wish to start with a brief history of my experiences that have provided me with the skills required for this position. As a fresher, I was voted chair of the university's netball club. The role required me to chair exec meetings and build a relationship with the LUSU staff. Therefore, despite being new to the LUSU team, working with the office will not be daunting, as the staff are now friendly faces, who have provided me with a strong understanding of how the system works. This role has also required me to use my initiative to solve bucks issues, so I'll be able to relate and help members of Activities Exec, allowing societies to make full use of the services that LUSU have to offer. I was also responsible for the overall running of LUNC, meaning I know how a society or bucks club should run efficiently, and will be able to provide support and guidance to the clubs. I feel I must add that I am not afraid of asking if I'm unsure, so you can be certain you'll be getting the best advice. But it is what I plan to bring to the role that I feel is the most important factor of why you should vote for me. Firstly, not only would it be an honour to be part of organising the 50th Home Roses, but after 2 years of being part of it, I have noticed the uneven distribution of points across the different activities, with some competitions not being fairly represented, and I want this to change. I would also like to see more collaboration events. By working with the Activities VP, I would like to run a campus event which incorporates tasters of different cultures, allowing societies to showcase the variety of cultures which they represent to their fellow students. At the Activities Conference, I know some fantastic ideas are generated, with some receiving funding. However, this funding is not always collected and used. So I would like to provide support to these groups to help make their ideas become reality. I also feel constant development of groups is necessary and want to help groups gain funding to get coaches and speakers in to provide inspiration and guidance to their members. Every week, most societies take part in a competition, and I feel it would be great for us to acknowledge those that are successful. Therefore, I wish to set up a system where if a society wins, and then the members receive a reward. I also feel the relationship between sports societies and the sports centre could be improved and facilities used to our full advantage. I would therefore like to introduce discount packages for societies, enabling you easy and cheaper access to the facilities. Finally, I will continue the weekly period where I'm free to offer advice. So in summary, I believe I'm organised, approachable, committed and reliable, and would love to take on the challenge of benefiting your society with my unique ideas. So please vote for me, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Okay, now we have Joe, who will be reading Andy and Lexi's host out for them. First off, Andy's. So 3 minutes when you're ready, Andy.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Andy Ainscough, and I'm running for the position of CCO Activities. Before I discuss my plans for this year, let me tell you a bit about myself. Since starting my degree at Lancaster last year, I have wholeheartedly got stuck in with activities. One of my main loves being theatre, I became an ambitious member of Lancaster University Theatre Group. I realised through my membership of this group that I was very interested in the running of societies and how they can be improved and expanded. From this interest, I was elected Vice President in my first year and have recently been elected President. In my time on this exec, I've promoted collaborations, including being part of the team that laid the foundations for the whole university production of Cabaret, and have recently organised a joint open mic night with the Comedy Society. Through working with one of the largest societies on campus, I've learnt how student-led operations can work successfully, and wish to take this experience into the position of CCO. So all this is well and good, but what would I do if elected? I want to run with a motto of let's make it happen. Support for what you want to do. Do you want to set up your own society or team? Then let's make it happen. Do you want to expand and develop your team as society? Let's make it happen. Through putting you in touch with the right people with the right experience, I can help you achieve what you want to do with your activities. Many people are unaware of how they can get involved and what they need to do to make their ideas and plans reality. So whatever you want to do, let's make it happen. My next aim is stop, collaborate and listen. I believe in collaboration. We've seen over the past year a vast increase in collaboration between the societies and teams. And I want to expand and increase this interaction over the next year. We have seen huge events such as Cabaret take place through societies coming and working together. I want to facilitate communications between the groups to promote such collaborations, as they can be incredibly rewarding and expansive for those involved. I also want to set up more schemes with LUSU Involve. With my own society, Lancaster University Theatre Group, we've run successful projects in the community and with schools. Helping pupils from local schools and people in the community experience some of the vast and increasing talents we have on offer. I want to encourage such projects as they enhance your activities experience and can help you in your future. Lastly, but by no means least, a sports timetable. At the moment, there's not an easily accessible and coherent sports timetable for both matches and practice. I would like to work on creating one over this year to ensure full support and attendance for our teams. All these plans, along with the duties of the role, will be done with my trademark zest and enthusiasm, meaning that all students will have a hard-working and accessible CCO activities to make sure that groups and societies are a huge and rewarding part of everyone's student experience. So, remember, whatever you want to do, let's make it happen.
Thank you. You got Lexi's, yeah?
Yeah, I've just got to make it so I can see it.
Okay,
Right.
now Joe will be reading out Lexi's host.
I'd like to say I'm really sorry for not being there for Hustings, but I'm representing the uni at Korfball. Hi, I'm Lexi Lingwood, and I'm running to be your cross-campus activities officer. If you were to vote for me, I would work hard with all of the societies and sports teams to help them thrive, becoming stronger and more successful. I will work with the new VP Activities, Emily Pollitt, and the rest of the FTO team to ensure a better relationship with the student body and to increase communication, but also hold the FTOs accountable. I have experience within both sports and societies. I'm in the university korfball team and play for my college netball A team, as well as the college female darts team, both of which I will be captaining next year. After being on the Roses committee this year, I gained a real insight into the running of the Roses weekend. From seeing how it ran in York and after being a steward last year in Lancaster, I believe that I can aid the planning of Roses immensely using the knowledge I've already gained and getting new, fresh ideas to the table. It will be the 50th anniversary of the tournament next year, and if elected, I vow to make it the best one yet. With the BUC's audit, there is a hope that the Activities Office will be able to employ a Roses Development Officer to help develop teams. However, if this does not occur, then I would help to fill this void within my role as CCO and work closely with the teams involved. If the changes to the activities bylaw pass, then activities exec will no longer take place next year. Instead, there will be an annual meeting held. To ensure communication does not dwindle as a result of this, I aim to set up a Facebook group with all societies and sports in, so that ideas can still be generated and any problems can be brought to light and dealt with as quickly and efficiently. This group would also provide a platform over which BUC's teams can swap training times if they need to. At Activities Conference, many great ideas get generated, but often don't get followed through in the next academic year. I aim to see these great ideas through to the end, such as Glee's idea to get into schools and creating albums. This is a great initiative, and these ideas should not be forgotten. I would work more with societies and culture groups to make weeks such as Culture Week bigger and better next year. Groups and societies could collaborate to create really buzzing events, and I would love to help with the organisation of these to aid their success. With the new constitutional change, there will no longer be an inter-college sports officer to liaise with the sports teams. As one of the current inter-college sports officers, I know what is involved with running college sports events and leagues. I'll work hard with the sports reps to help them with the running of Carter Shield and with their own inter-college sports tournaments, such as Founders.
30 seconds.
Oh, God. Right, okay. My big thing is to create cross-campus socials between 3 UCS teams and other sports teams and societies, linking up a variety of groups, an event to create a strong Lancaster team spirit and hopefully increase support at society and sports events. I think a cross-campus sports social will not only increase support for college bars, but create a more tight-knit community on campus. If you want a committed representative next year, support university teams, societies and colleges that doesn't shy away from responsibility, then vote for me, Lexi Lingwood, to be your cross-campus officer.
Any questions? Okay, Emily?
Thank you. I want to ask all the candidates this, but obviously it's only Tabitha present. I was just wondering how you would go about trying to communicate and consult with students. There's such a large amount of our student body involved in activities, and it's not always easy to gauge their opinions and their issues. I have an office hour every week and hardly anyone comes to it, so that doesn't seem to be the most effective way. So I was just wondering how you would go about communicating with students.
I think the best way would be to go out and actually talk to the clubs and societies and meet them and get their opinions by actually going out to their training sessions where everyone will be, and then you'll know how they are and how they are feeling in that situation, because then they can't shy away and they can't think, oh, I can't be bothered to go and greet someone and meet someone. I'll go and see them face to face and actually get their opinion direct from them.
Thank you. Any more questions? Emily again?
Just one last one. I think it was only Lexi that mentioned in her HUST about college sports. Obviously now there's not going to be inter-college sports officers that will fall into the remit of activity CCO. So I was just wondering what you do to support the JCR sports reps, inter-college sports, and whether you've got any ideas surrounding college sport.
Yeah, well, I think it would be good to attend the meetings that the college sports reps have and go out and see what they're doing and what they're doing and help them with their side, and maybe have a meeting where they can come and see you and how they can integrate with the Bucks clubs and stuff. And this year with Lunk, we've actually provided, the netball club have provided training sessions for college teams and for the Law Society Netball Club, which has been really useful, and it's provided a bond between, because I think sometimes there's quite a conflict between the college teams and the uni teams, and I think that wall needs breaking down, and because people don't understand that everyone's friendly at Lancaster, everyone gets on, and you make more friends by doing it. It's been really good having the netball club, the university club coaching and helping the college teams, because then they can improve, and then maybe next year they can join the uni clubs. So I think it'd be good to break down that wall.
Thank you.
A question from Twitter for yourself, Tabitha. How many activities would Tabitha like to lead within, for example, a month?
Activities in what sense?
That's all we've got.
Well, obviously I stated my aims and what I want to do, and I think you have to be realistic in what you can achieve. So I think you go at a steady pace and try and implement each one at a time and work through your goals and try and achieve them, and then obviously keep them going to sustain what you want to achieve. So once you set it up, just keep it going and keep looking back at your activities that you've got, and hopefully the next CCO activities would continue what you did.
Thank you. Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much, Tabitha. Thank you.
Right, one of the candidates for charity is currently on her way here. She's been really held up, so we're going to put that back, and we'll do candidates for democracy now. So Damon Farley, please. Fairley. Three minutes when you're ready.
Hi everyone. I'm running for CCO Democracy because I think we can make real improvements across campus to our democratic procedures. What struck me over the last year and a half that I've been involved in my college is that there's tons of passionate students out there who would be really good officers, but they sometimes lack the confidence and experience to stand for election. My main aim is to increase and diversify our candidate pool and increase our overall voter turnout. I know this isn't an easy task by any stretch of the imagination, and I'd like to say from the outset, I've not got all the answers. That is why I think it's essential we work and move forward together as a union and not just as individual units. If elected, I would work closely with the Vice President Union Development and Campaigns and Communications, along with the Elections Subcommittee and all other relevant officers, to share and implement ideas across campus. For example, one thing which has worked really well for us in Furness is the use of videos to promote our elections and events. Through the use of video and other digital media, I'd like to spice up elections and demonstrate that being a student officer is a fun and rewarding experience. I would also work closely with the Vice President Welfare and Community to support the International Students Association. I believe we have a deficit of international student involvement in our officership, and I believe through the ISA we can encourage and support more international students to stand for elections within our union. If elected, I'm also keen to launch a LUSU Council Awareness campaign. The campaign would involve promoting to students that they can attend council and speak as an observer, and also that they can help shape and write policy and have it proposed through their representatives. I'm also in support of reinstating the 4 faculty reps onto LUSU Council. If elected, I would work closely with the LGBTQ Star CCO to ensure that all LGBT students feel empowered to stand for their NUS delegate positions. Now there's been a change, they'll be elected across campus. And more widely, I'd like to support all officers and increase in our NUS delegate candidate pool as well, as those conferences are quite useful for our union. So to sum up, I'd just like to say I don't have all the answers to how we solve all these problems, but I believe I have the passion, commitment and drive to move democracy forward in our union. Thank you.
Any questions for Damon? Rosalie?
Hello? Yeah. This is a question that I'd ask any college president running for a CCO position, which is simply, do you think that going into your 3rd year, I think you are, going into your 3rd year being a college president, do you think that I'm sure that you've considered it yourself that you've got enough time, because otherwise you wouldn't be running for it, but how do you think you're going to cope with all the different demands on your time?
I think that's a very good question. It's something I considered quite a lot before I ran for this role. What I would say to that is, as a college president, my main task is actually extrav, and that's my... Is that me doing that? That's my main event, like the Vice President, in fairness, does Freshers Week. So as of Michaelmas term, a large part of my role is gone, so it's just essentially working with my JCR officers. So I have factored that in. I do think I can commit enough time to the role.
Thank you. Any more questions? Omar, then Tom.
Hi. You mentioned that international students aren't so active with LUSU. I know you're Farnessa's president. Can you tell me what have you done as an individual to help and promote participation within LUSU with respect to international students?
Yep. Coming forward next term, we've got the Furness College bylaw review, of which we'll be instating at least 1 international officer for our college. I think that's a positive move forward. I'm also putting into our bylaw, because I was shocked it was missing, that all officers are actually responsible for international engagement and internationalisation. Something our equal opportunities officers have worked on and I've supported is doing international nights in our college bar. So once every 2 weeks we have various international nights. We've done Polish and Spanish so far, and we've got plans to do Chinese and Indian as well this term. So I think just doing more events which are catered around that. In Freshers Week, which I will announce now because we've worked on this, we're actually going to be getting a Queen lookalike, and that's the Queen, like with the crown and stuff. To try and engage with international students more and say, come and have tea with the Queen. Those sorts of ideas I think are really good in engaging international students.
Thank you. Tom next. At the front, yeah.
Hey, Damon. You've mentioned quite a lot about how you'd get people involved in electing themselves for an officer, but one of the things that, as someone who ran in the FTO election, obviously, was criticised from last year was that when people got into when they elected them, nominated themselves, when they were running their campaigns, they weren't engaging with as many students as previous years. What would you go about doing to try and persuade people who nominate themselves during campaign period to expand on getting people engaged in voting for them, as opposed to just sitting back? If no one's doing anything, then no one else is. Do you know what I mean? I'm just babbling now.
Sorry, could you just explain that question a bit more? I'm just not sure what.
Basically, do you know what I'm talking about, Joe?
So people have said that the FTO elections this year were much lower key than in previous years. So kind of how would you try and reverse that trend, get more people involved?
Right. All right. Sorry. Yeah. One thing I would like to do is the video idea, which I mentioned earlier on. In fairness, we made an election video, and I don't know the exact figures, but I know this year we had about an 8% increase in our voter turnout. So I think things like that do engage students more. Making it more interactive and fun as well, so it's not, our videos aren't just us talking, they're actually a bit more something to them. But as I said earlier on, I don't really have all of the answers in terms of turnout, which is why I want to work with other officers to develop a campus-wide strategy for this.
Thank you. Liz has a question.
Hi, sorry, I know this is on a similar theme. Obviously, we're talking about cracking the enigma that is increasing the voter turnout. Postgrad students comprise 1/3 of our campus, yet obviously there's still many people to crack on that front and how to engage them in voting. We've mentioned about posters already today, which I think hopefully the majority of you here will agree that the posters are dead. People don't look out for things like that anymore. Going into people's houses and campaigning when you're running, for example, for as a full-time officer, I think it's intrusive. I don't personally like it. How do you think we can come up with bigger and better ideas to engage postgrads in particular?
Just start by saying I absolutely agree about block runs and things like that. They don't work, and we've not done them in fairness for a while. In terms of postgrads, I don't really have a clue how we can engage them more. I've not really ever looked into this issue. Because I'm an undergrad. I've only ever focused on undergrad elections. What I would like to do as CCO Democracy is go into the postgrad board and ask them what they think can be done. Because on that issue, I'll be honest, I really don't have a clue.
Honest, I like that.
Right, we've got a question from Twitter. This one's from Tom Spray. Do you agree with gender balancing?
Does that mean like 50% of our NUS delegates? No. No. Simple answer, no. I voted against the 50% on the scan poll online. The 50% of our NUS delegates should be women. I think everyone should be on a level playing field. I don't agree with gender balancing.
Any more questions?
There's a lot of TVs about campus, such as the ones that display the bus times, but we all know that the buses don't run to the times anyway, and there's a bus every 5 minutes. Can we use those kind of TVs and things that are about all over campus to promote events like this, and democratic events, and events all the way across the union?
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I think we've looked into it before, but found that the university aren't willing for us to actually use those screens. But I know we have looked into it before. I was actually speaking to Libby Martin about that. She's not here today, but yeah, I would like to see that happen.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you, Damon.